All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the January 13th, 2025 Thornapple Township meeting to order. Will you all please rise and join me in invocation? Lord, may the discussions we share and the decisions we make this evening reflect your leadership and your influence in our lives. Amen. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Cindy, can you roll call?
Yes. Bouchard. Here. Campbell.
Here.
Dimash.
Here.
Woodway here. Rarick. Here. Schaefer.
Here.
Stanton.
Here. All right. I would be happy to entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion with support. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we are to number 5, approval of consent agenda, and I'd be happy to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. A motion with support. To approve the consent agenda as presented. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Cindy, can you roll call?
Dimash.
Yep.
Woodway, yes. Rarick.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Stanton.
Yes.
Bouchard.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
All right. We're at number 6, the first public comment. And anyone from the public can come up and speak. The only caveat is to limit your comments to 3 minutes or less.
Good evening. My name is Eric Zizka. I'm the new county administrator. One of the things when I was hired, I told the commissioners that I wanted to get out and attend all the townships, make sure you saw my name, you knew my face. Really no other major agenda besides that. I've got 27 plus years in local government, so bring a variety of experience to the county, and I think we have a great group. Looking forward to working with everyone there. I will ask both the treasurer and the clerk's office, please be patient. We have a lot of transition, as you are both well aware. We're seeing a lot of 25, 30-year veterans retiring. So a lot on our plates, but I know we have a good group and we'll power through. And anything we can do, please stop by my office in the courthouse, where Michael Brown's old office used to be. So besides that, just a little bit about me. I've lived here since last fall. My wife and I live on Long Lake in Hope Township. So we owned that property for 4 years back in the 16 to 20, and we decided to come back after 4 years. We missed it and just enjoying being here. And then this opportunity came up. So excited to be here. Happy to be a resource for whatever you need. Feel free to come. Besides that, I know you've got a great commissioner that takes care of you besides that. So
Who's your favorite commissioner to work with so far?
well, definitely.
No, you don't have to answer.
Definitely Commissioner Getty. Sorry, Chief. I know you're going to shoot me in my way out. But we are. Yeah. That's like, I'm going to hurry up and get out before you guys are out. But I am sorry, but we're excited to bring Patrick on board. And I think he'll do a great job replacing Jimmy Arger, and he still will be available. So
he will do a great job.
yeah.
And I think this will be great for him and his family. And
yeah,
I'm excited for him.
Good. Well, we appreciate that. And I know he's still going to be working with you for a few more months. So whatever we can do to help, please let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any further public comment? Hearing none, Commissioner Getty, you're up.
Come on, I'm glad Commissioner Smelker wasn't here. We'd have to arm wrestle for it. So we've had our organizational meeting for the year. Nothing changed. Dave Jackson is still our chair, Dave Hatfield, vice chair. We did bring on Marcia Bassett, so she's had her first 2 meetings with us. And the only other real thing I think that we've passed was well, tomorrow we should pass the 5-year rec plan update for the county. So I know you will hear about this later, but ours is coming up as well. So T, if you're seeing 5-year rec plan. Any questions about what's happening in the county?
I think we're good. Anybody?
Commissioner Smelker sends his regards, but he couldn't be here tonight.
Okay, it happens. All right, we're on to reserve time, which there's none. And next up is the chief.
So this month, we had kind of a slow paid on call response month, which is not atypical for this time of year, less people out doing things. We only had 14 runs, but the acuity was still pretty high. We ended up having 3 structured fires that we responded to, 2 in one day. We averaged 13 and a half people on those calls. It's really hard to get people cut in half, but we seem to be able to do it. We ended up having 2 medical assists. One was a high angle rescue that our crews had to do a rope rescue to get this person out of the gully. And I think Mike was on that, and I think Jason was on that. So kind of a tactical rescue to get the gentleman out of there. So they got to use some of those rope rescue skills. Crews still responding on some of the lower acuity calls at about 6 people per run, and we had 3 motor vehicle accidents averaging 10 people. So overall, we have a great response, averaging 8.7 people per run, which is pretty phenomenal. The last fire we had just the other day, one of the chiefs remarked to me that we had more people, granted it was our fire, we had more people than all the other departments combined. And that's happened a couple of times going to the other communities that we outnumber all the other people that are there. So really proud of everybody. They're working hard, and they really impress all the area chiefs. So we are working on a CPR and first aid schedule for this year, hoping to do it 4 times, 4 different classes. Colin has been in charge of that. He's doing a good job of getting the word out. I'm working on the annual report. It's probably going to be a little delayed this year. And we got 3 grants that I'm in the process of working on. So that's about it.
Okay. Gotta add something. I had a gentleman call and give attaboys to a couple members of your team. Very impressed with their demeanor. He said I said, well, do you know their names? He says, no, it was the handsome football playing type. And I said, well, I don't go out on calls. So it turns out it was Patrick and Joan. Very pleased with their service.
Nice.
All right, new unfinished business 10, retirement contribution. I think that's something that we might be able to go over in the near future. Just not tonight. On to new business 11, we have an agenda request, and Chief, it wouldn't be a township board meeting if you didn't speak to something.
I'm going to try to do better next time and not have just 4. I'm going to really work at it. So the only agenda request I have tonight, we had one of our full-time employees leave to go back to Life EMS because of personal reasons. That left a full-time position open. We interviewed 5 people, and Shelby was the one who had the highest score at the end of that. We would like to have him fill that position, and that's what the agenda request is for tonight.
All right, with that, I'd be happy to entertain a motion to approve a full-time promotion for Shelby.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, second. Motion of support to approve a full-time promotion for Shelby. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, welcome Shelby.
Thank you.
All right, the second agenda request is related to earned sick time. And Cindy, would you like to speak to this?
I would. So beginning the end of February, of course, the Earned Sick Time Act goes into effect. Our health insurance provider recommended that we use Acrisure to review our existing time off banks. They'll review what we have. They will go through and help us to coordinate that along with the Earned Sick Time Act to see what works and what will work better and how to integrate the two to what we have. The charge for that is $1,500, and they'll hold our hands right through the start of this, and then they will help with administration if we need it once it starts. So I'm requesting $1,500 to go ahead and do that with them.
So I'm gonna read this whole recommendation. I only have 2 points. Be happy to entertain a motion to enter into an agreement with Acrisure LLC to review our current sick time, vacation time, and personal time policies in order to align them with the new Earned Sick Time Act recently passed by the state of Michigan, which goes into effect February 25th, 2025, for an amount not to exceed $1,500. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion with support to, and I'm not gonna read this again.
Yeah.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
The $1,500 is for the initial setup and get us going kind of thing.
Yes,
I assume there'd be additional fees if we've got to consult them
Yes.
later.
yes.
I would hope that we don't have to, but.
Right.
Okay.
But by the sounds of it, I gave you tons of information on the Earned Sick Time Act, and it's kind of a pain, but, by the sounds of it, they will kind of provide us with the information that we need to get it going, to get started. And then as far as the reporting and all of that, I'm sure that from there I'll be able to confer with MTA or our attorneys even if we need to, but I think eventually that will be presented to us as well as far as how much when we have to report. All of that.
Will they be helping us update our handbook then?
Just the
That section.
bank, yeah, just the banks, yes.
Just that section.
Yep.
Okay.
We have paid time off in some form, whether it's vacations or not. I don't know what we call it. And forgive me, I haven't looked at the handbook in a while. But in my own business, we don't have to do anything because we already supersede what the state requires in ESTA. We've got what we call paid time off, and it can be used for anything the employee wants to use it for. And we exceed the number of hours as well. Are we in that boat at all, such that we might not have to spend the $1,500 and we're already okay? This is my thinking. I know we're way more complex than my business. I've got 6 employees and it's very simple. We have payroll, take care of it, they'll log all that stuff, everything, so.
See, and the difference I think is, sorry for the interruption, is
No, you turn it over to you.
payroll will take care of it all. I don't have that.
Right,
I don't
I know
have
you
that.
don't, I know.
But I think as far as them taking a look at what we have, I know we have above and beyond what we need.
Okay,
But as far as the reporting aspect of it and
Okay.
how they need to present to us, how they're gonna use it and utilize that benefit.
Okay.
I think that for me, it would be extremely helpful to have Acrisure sit down with me and go through what we need to do to make it quote unquote official pertaining to the Earned Sick Time Act specifically.
mhm. And I think we have probably a more complex pay situation as well than my little business. So, I'm
So
good.
it, yeah, essentially it's anybody who gets a W-2,
Mhm.
anybody who gets a W-2 paid on call pays even. For every, what is it, 30 hours they work, they're
Yep,
entitled
we
to
get it.
1 hour of paid sick leave. And we worked that into
With a max of 72 hours.
with a maximum of 72 hours.
So that will be new for us because we haven't had sick time for NFL.
Right. But the thing of it is, I went to a seminar presented by our attorneys. And, you know, people are asking, well, what do you do with a paid on call person? What do you do with a board member who's also gets quote unquote a W-2? They're an employee. How do you determine
I think
what that
every
is?
elected officials are exempt.
And the thing of it is too, that, they said it's not been tested by case law yet.
Right.
So this whole thing's gonna evolve over time. Nobody really knows what it's gonna look like, so if I can find out what it's gonna look like initially and be set up, ready to go when, February 25th or 28th comes, I would appreciate it.
Any further questions, comments, or concerns?
Maybe a little help understanding the motivation behind the state for establishing an Earned Sick Time Act. I guess I never understood. They weren't targeting municipalities or governments when that act was established, was it? Was it intended for the private sector?
It's intended for anybody in the state who gets a W-2, private or not.
Right, well, it seemed to me like they were trying to get everyone in the private sector being treated equally or something, and somehow we've got to make it apply to us too with our complex situation.
They do.
I believe it was a ballot initiative that the legislature then pulled out of it and voted on and took it in instead of having to go to the people for a vote. And then they went and changed the law and then that got adjudicated. And that's why recently it had gone to the Supreme Court, state Supreme Court. And they ruled that you can't take the language that was put in ballot initiatives and then adopt it and then immediately change it. So that's where some of the changes, I think Cindy's right. You're gonna see some changes coming down the pipe that they have. It has to stand the test of time against some judicial challenges, like I would have guessed.
And
If you pay to invest in compliance with something you know that's gonna change.
That's the problem. That's the problem. And the thing of it is too, it's extremely lax as far as, I mean, an employee can use it for absolutely anything. And there is all, just like the election process, there's a whole state complaint process that an employee can go through to report complaints if they're not offered it or they feel like they've been, you know, punished because they've chosen to use the Earned Sick Time Act, all of that. And then comes along with that, you know, fees and fines and everything else, so. It just sounds to me like another election act situation that's gonna go into effect, but it is what it is, and I would like to have this $1,500 be put to good use and learn exactly what we have and how it can fit into the sick time act, so we don't have to.
Keep us in compliance.
Yeah.
Are there any further questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Cindy, can you roll call?
Yes. Schaefer,
Yes.
Stanton,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Demosh,
Yes,
Ordway, yes, Rarick.
Yes.
And I think when Kurt was talking about his policies being better than these, he wasn't trying to attract anybody from the service to go work for him. I don't know for sure. We we're on to number 12, committee reports. Administration. Nothing new there. Cemetery,
Nothing new.
Middleville DDA, went through and tried to begin the infancy steps of planning the Riverbank Music Series. I've got dates picked out every Friday in June, July, and August, so that will be 13 total. And it's a lot more than there was last year. So haven't picked the bands yet, but got the dates picked. Doug Powers has taken over, in a nutshell, basically what's happened with the DDA. You've got one person focusing on attracting businesses and another person yet to be hired that will be attracting people through events and that type of thing. And it's basically, in a nutshell, how they divided up the workload of the DDA director. It seems like it's gonna work well. I think that we've got a village president that's willing to work with the DDA and hopefully get things in the right direction. And we're on to letter D, elections.
Nothing new there, just a huge sigh of relief.
Okay. Emergency services,
Seems like that's running pretty smooth.
okay. I'd like to say congratulations, Patrick, again.
We missed.
Finance. Okay. Parks and Rec. Catherine, would you like to speak to that? There will be an opportunity for us to vote at our next, budget meeting. I didn't make it to this due to my oversight, but we need to do what is called a 5-year rec plan, and that needs to start soon. So, the township will be asked to participate in that financially, and it is a tool to apply for grants and also just establish a pathway for how we want the parks and recreation look in Thornapple Township, Middleville, and
I think the biggest thing, I mean, for those of you that have been on the board for a long time, I know Sandy and Ross and Kurt have approved these a couple of times. Every 5 years, you have to update it and go through the public input process for it to qualify for certification from the DNR. And then all 3 entities will be eligible for DNR trust fund grants, which you did use for the trail acquisition project. The village has used it several times for improvements downtown, like the pavilion and their trail project as well. One thing that we asked Williams and Works to do in that update is that we really wanted to engage the 3 entities in input for the 5-year rec plan because of the changes in TAPRC and the programming and what the entity input we've gotten from the entities, so that we want to have a joint meeting with that. We'll also do an online survey and some input sessions. So I think Eric plans to have it on an agenda coming up, but we're hoping to approve that at our January 22nd TAPRC meeting. And our meetings are now going to be quarterly. They'll be the 4th Wednesday in January, April, July, and October. I think
it's posted.
it is posted. Okay, good.
And that does break my heart to have less meetings, but we'll just get along without it.
Has anything more been done about the bridges on the trail?
Yeah, they did get another, or an updated, quote of what needs to get done. And, they're working to see if it will qualify for a MDOT TAP Transportation Alternatives Program grant. So, still working on funding.
Okay. Any idea when that will be determined?
I had an email late last week that, the village and Williams and Works engineer, folks that they have working on it, are gonna set up a meeting with MDOT, so, I hope in 2025.
Great.
It's, I mean, and then the grant cycle is such that there's such a large turnaround, I mean, lengthy. So, if they apply for a grant in 2025, get funding in 2026 construction probably.
Okay, keep us posted.
And the bridges aren't dangerous now, they are in need of rebuilding.
Mhm. Just keep us updated, okay?
I will.
Thank you.
All right, personnel and compensation. Anything?
Kurt and I have,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, Kurt and I have had a meeting. We have most of it nailed down and we should have recommendations by our budget meeting.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. Property and public utilities. Dave, anything? No. Yeah. I think there was a question, you sent that to David also? Request for, last week, it was kind of a unique situation, doesn't happen all the time, but we had a lot of melting off the roof and that was getting into the, High Street. And where there were vehicles covering where the sun was, it actually froze. It was like an ice skating rink, so. Just worry if maybe there's something can be done there, but anyways, roads and highways.
Haven't seen many potholes in Thornapple yet. There's a few in Grand Rapids. I don't have anything else to add to that.
That meeting.
Oh, yeah, we got.
Oh,
a
yeah,
meeting
we've got our-
Wednesday, I think, this week.
Yeah.
Do I have it right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh, it is.
Wednesday, I think so.
It's Wednesday. We're the county road committee. I think all 7 of us are invited,
Yeah,
and we already got the packet.
well, yeah, and they even invited Sandy this time, which,
Oh,
all right, yeah, we've got our meeting on Wednesday. We got a lot of meetings on Wednesday. Duncan Lake Sewer,
I don't have anything new. You probably got
I
better, more.
got my L1, L2 license,
You got to
which
stop
is,
that off.
had me nervous for quite a while. But I did pass the state exam.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. With that, I will open up the second period of public comment. The only caveat is please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. All right. We're on to full of members. David.
What do I say?
Any thoughts you have, as far as what we talked about in the meeting or anything else?
No, I'll just say congratulations. Thank you.
All right, Sandy.
Congratulations, Shelby. Glad to have you on board. Budget meeting is scheduled for,
I haven't sent out the actual meeting request, but I'll send that out tomorrow morning for Wednesday at 7 in the morning.
Which Wednesday?
Huh?
Next week.
Next
Like day after tomorrow?
no, next week.
one. You can come in if you want it. I might even get coffee going for you.
I'm at the station by 6:45 usually, if you want to start there.
Next week.
Next week, Wednesday.
All right. And I just totally got lost here. Ross?
That gives you time to add to that agenda,
Mhm.
the discussion about combining the fire and EMS budget items.
We can have that on the,
Gotta have that discussion, gotta mention it every meeting till we get it done.
okay. Kurt?
You're gonna send out an email for
I'll send out the-
budget meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I get the date right. All that good stuff. I don't have anything else.
Laura?
Oh, man.
Don't have it. Cindy? All right, welcome Shelby, and Chief, my sincere condolences on your loss. And with that, I'd be happy to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support. Motion to adjourn. A motion with support to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
So I just, but I'm just volunteering.